So we talked about that knowledge, information, and experience. So if you don't know how to drive, you might be insecure. You want to, basically, if person has a lot of this, maybe is lacking a lot of knowledge, because that what also is gonna overcome those emotions. And again, every person, of course, has fears, everybody, but some people, they can maybe control it better, and they have, the more experience they have, the less fears and the more knowledge. Because knowledge, as you see, information, if you really know about, let's say you're going for the war, you go for the war, and you general, you have in the command, whatever, versus Napoleon. If you have no experience in battlefield, you're gonna be very insecure versus Napoleon, or even boxing, any sport that you have to compete. But Napoleon, I think he knows what he's doing. He knows his experience in that. Less fear, and you, as a general, you transfer it to your soldiers also. They feel that energy. If you're leader of the tribe or army, it's very important. That's why if the one who has less experience and knowledge, doesn't matter if one army has 5,000 and another army 10,000. Suvorov, I think, never lost a battle, even it was 70,000 versus 300 people, 300 Spartans. Suvorov never lost any battles, not even one. So pretty experienced guy. When he goes on the field, I think he's not insecure. So all this stuff, it comes because people don't really take time to learn and to practice. You understand? It's very important.
To apply the knowledge, basically.
Well, you have to, yeah.
Because you can read a lot and have a lot of knowledge, but if you don't apply it to...
Well,
yeah.
Again, remember a rule of nature, it's exchange of energy. If you break that rule, you're going to be punished by nature, and you're going to be very depressed, and you're going to have a lot of problems. You want to take more than you give, or other way. So when you saying, what were you just saying?
I said that knowledge itself is not enough. Yeah.
If somebody shows me right now diploma from whatever psychologist, I can tell him stick it in your ass, your diploma, unless he proved that society actually the one who tells is good or not him. I'm not gonna say I'm good psychologist. If people say you're good, then you're probably good. But how to become that good? How you can be that good teacher or whatever, psychologist or doctor? You don't break that universal rule of giving, receiving energy. You read books and you teach others. Then you release that energy for fresh and new. Now you can, look, if you take any person who's more, let's say, visual person, they're more creative. Some more creative, some less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If that creative person is doing creative stuff and really try to do something with his whatever abilities, is going to be better every time.
Yes.
I mean, in any field it works like that. Yes. If you just read books, you can take this diploma and, as I say, it's worthless. Whatever you're going to tell me you have diploma, so what? You have to give away this energy. You have to teach others. It was one of the vectors in our society. It was its role to teach. Ano vector. It was that was the teacher. So they can be very, very depressed if they're not teachers, because their role in ancient times is to teach young warriors and young soldiers to become warriors. That was their role. And they have better memory because that was the role of the teacher. They have to accumulate that energy, whatever they read, so they can remember. They can be better doctors. They can be better in any master. By themselves, if he has to do something by himself, lawyer, doctor, whatever, he can be the best. That's his role. He can do everything but by himself, because what he's doing, his vector accumulates energy. He reads and he remembers that. If you harm him and he has some issues, he's going to remember it all his life. Accumulates offense.
This is anal vector?
Anal vector. It was Freud first who discovered this vector.
Mm-hmm.
You know Freud?
Of course I
Yeah.
do.
Freud, by the way, was this vector. That's why I read this book about it. But he didn't finish his work because he was only 84 years old, but he smoked too many cigars, more than Churchill, and he had throat cancer. You know the story of Freud, do you? He had cancer and he was really suffering. He couldn't take that pain. He asked his doctor to put him asleep, euthanasia, because he was really suffering. But Freud discovered first vector. He didn't call it vector. He called it anal personality, but that's how vector psychology and Freud work based on his work, developed that system.
And he was himself that anal vector.
Right, yeah.
Do you think all psychologists would be
Not everybody,
applied,
but we'll talk about that also. So what happened is that the same vector, his role, we say it in the tribe, to teach kids, to teach young warriors, to teach every vector in society. It has, you can say, taboo, sexual taboo. For example, every man, he cannot, let's say, touch younger women, girls, teenagers. Anal vector has two taboos. It has two versus male and female. That's the only male who can become actually active pedophile, whatever. It's only anal, no other vector. Because he has deep love for kids, to teach them, to make them better. But if he goes through issues, frustrations, offense, and other problems, now he can harm kids. Another, all sexually related crime, only anal vector. It's only one vector who does that. Because dermal, if he commits crime, he can be a thief, robbery, gang member, steal cars, but he's not gonna do what anal does. So every vector does even different crime, commits. Every vector completely different. Every person, we just look alike, 2 hands, 2 legs, but even blood and even runs different. Somebody's hot, somebody's not that hot. So some vectors are more hot, and their body and energy wasted faster. Like they don't live too long because they're what happens?
They burn the energy too fast.
Too fast.
Yes.
And the other one, I mean, we're completely different. That's what I'm trying to explain here.
Yes.
Every vector, you understand?
But as I understand that every person has many vectors,
All
or
vectors
there are dominant vectors in one person,
and secondary
and
then come.
secondary.
And then maybe third. But
Okay.
that, it's enough to tell your
Okay.
character.
Okay.
In order to say this person character, one vector will not going to be enough. You need to spot at least 2 or maybe 3, and then you can tell everything about the person. Yeah. probably more than he knows. Definitely more than he knows. And you can put him in the right position at your business, right position in society and everything else. Yeah, that's what they lack in, because they don't know that.
Their purpose.
I mean, not purpose. They abilities, whatever they. I mean, he cannot be sport athlete no matter how much he's gonna try. He's not gonna outrun dermal vector that is born to run and chase the deer. So there's no way. But he can be good wrestler, better than dermal. You understand? Like everybody, like wrestler or lifting weights, that's different vector. So yeah, even in sport, everything. So every vector is